Okay, so you're here with us because you want to really get a handle on something new, right?
Yeah.
And you want to get it like now without all the fluff.
Yeah.
So
Then
today
getting lost in the weeds.
we are going to give you like a backstage pass to the world of insurance claims adjusters.
That's right.
You found this really fascinating article called 55 Claims Adjuster Interview Questions to Ask Candidates
Yeah, from Tuscarora.
from Tuscarora. It was published pretty recently, March 25, 2025 to be exact.
Okay.
And we're pulling out like the really interesting, surprising stuff,
The good stuff.
the insights that'll save you hours of research.
Right.
So think of this as like your express lane to understanding what these professionals do, the skills that they absolutely need, and how they actually approach their work.
Right. We took the questions that companies use to find the top candidates.
Right.
And we extracted like the crucial info for you.
Yeah.
So, our aim here is to give you a clear picture of what defines the role of a claims adjuster.
Yeah.
Essential knowledge without the fluff.
Okay, so let's like get down to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
At its core, the job of a claims adjuster boils down to one really significant thing.
Yeah.
It's deciding how much money should be paid out on insurance claims.
Right.
So like really, when you really stop and think about it, that's a decision with like some serious weight.
Huge weight.
Right, because you make the wrong call and you're looking at a ton of problems.
Yeah.
Unhappy policyholders, legal battles.
Oh, yeah. The whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards, exactly.
Yeah, that's why who you hire for these positions is so critical.
Right.
These interview questions aren't just a standard checklist. They're carefully crafted to really uncover a candidate's technical understanding,
Yeah.
their problem-solving abilities, their
Yeah.
interpersonal skills. You need someone who's not only sharp and detail-oriented,
Right.
but also capable of, navigating often sensitive and emotionally charged situations.
So the article starts out with some general interview questions, right?
Yeah.
So these are like those broader inquiries that are designed to get a feel for a candidate's personality, their long-term career goals, and the experiences they're bringing to the table.
Right.
So it's about, understanding what motivates them and what their overall approach to work is like.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how much you can learn from the answers to these seemingly straightforward questions.
Yeah.
You're looking for evidence of genuine interest in the field,
Yeah.
a degree of self-awareness, like do they know their strengths and where they need to develop,
Yeah.
and a solid demonstrable work ethic.
Right.
These are really the bedrock qualities for anyone looking to succeed as a claims adjuster.
For instance, they suggest asking what drew you to the claims adjuster profession.
Yeah.
Now, a good answer is going to go beyond just needing a job.
Yeah.
The article points out that a strong candidate might mention a real desire to help people when they're facing like difficult circumstances.
Right.
Or maybe they have a background in customer service and have really honed their ability to communicate effectively with people under stress.
Yeah.
Even prior experience in like investigative roles could be a great indicator.
Right. That kind of response really shows a deeper appreciation for the different facets of the role.
Yeah.
It suggests they've thought about what the job actually entails beyond the surface level.
Right.
And the article touches on a whole range of other general questions, exploring their ambitions for career growth,
Yeah.
what they consider their greatest strength, how they've navigated past challenges, their reasons for seeking a new opportunity, their understanding of the company they're applying to, any unique skills they possess,
Yeah.
what truly motivates them in a professional setting.
Right.
Whether they thrive more in collaborative environments or working independently, how they personally define success, their aspirations for their next role, and even the type of work environment where they feel they can be most effective.
It's a lot.
It's a comprehensive initial assessment.
All right. So it's like you're building like a well-rounded picture of the individual before you even get into the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then the interview moves into more role-specific questions.
Right.
This is where they really want to gauge if a candidate have a practical understanding of the day-to-day realities of handling different kinds of claims, whether it's related to like vehicle accidents, property damage from storms, liability issues, or more specialized types of insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
In this stage, strong candidates will demonstrate a solid understanding of insurance policies themselves.
Right.
The established procedures for processing claims from start to finish and the relevant legal and regulatory frameworks.
Yeah.
They should also show an ability to anticipate potential complexities
Yeah,
and proactively strategize how to handle them.
right.
Someone lacking this foundational knowledge is likely to struggle with ensuring compliance
Right.
and simply managing their workload effectively and fairly.
And the article provides a really useful example. It says, what strategies do you use to investigate and validate claims?
Right.
And the sample answer that they give is really detailed.
Okay.
So it talks about the first crucial step,
Yeah.
which is thoroughly reviewing the insurance policy
Yeah.
to confirm if the claim is even covered under the terms.
Right.
From there, it's all about gathering solid evidence,
Right.
which could involve visiting the site of the incident,
Sure.
taking photographs, obtaining recorded statements from those involved,
Yeah.
and perhaps even requesting reports from relevant professionals like contractors or medical personnel.
Uh-huh.
If the situation is particularly complex or there are discrepancies,
Right.
they might even consult forensic experts to reconstruct what happened.
Yeah.
So the whole process emphasizes cross-referencing the gathered information with the specifics of the insurance policy
Right.
and meticulously documenting every step.
Sure.
It really highlights the detective work involved.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And the article lists a number of other key role-specific questions, such as how they go about determining appropriate settlement amounts,
Right.
their experience handling different categories of claims,
Yeah.
their approach to managing claims arising from large-scale events like natural disasters,
Right.
how they ensure they are always operating within the bounds of regulations,
Yeah.
their methods for handling claims where there's significant disagreement or contention, their strategies for negotiation, their experience with claims involving multiple parties,
Yeah.
and even what they personally find to be the most challenging aspects of the entire claims adjusting process.
Okay, so a lot to cover.
It really underscores the multifaceted nature of the job.
Absolutely. So after that, the focus shifts to technical expertise.
Right.
The hard skills that are essential for the role.
Yeah.
So these questions are designed to assess if a candidate has a working knowledge of relevant insurance laws,
Right.
if they are proficient in using the various claims processing systems and software that are standard in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
and if they have a good eye for evaluating and estimating damages.
So what becomes clear here is the critical importance of meticulous attention to detail,
Yeah.
sharp analytical thinking, and a comfort level with the technology used in the field.
Yeah.
And as the article emphasizes, strong documentation skills are absolutely non-negotiable.
Right.
Without accurate and thorough records,
Yeah.
you're opening the door to potential errors,
All right.
which can lead to incorrect payouts and significant delays in the claims process.
The example question provided for this area is, how do you determine policy coverage for a specific claim?
Yeah.
And the suggested answer outlines a very systematic approach.
Okay.
It begins with a deep and careful examination of the insurance policy itself.
Right.
Looking closely at the coverage limits the definitions of key terms
Yeah.
and any specific exclusions or endorsements that might apply.
Yeah.
If there's any ambiguity or uncertainty, a good adjuster will consult internal guidelines
Right.
or even reach out to the underwriting department.
Right. Yeah.
That's the team that initially sets up the policy, so they have a deep understanding of its intent.
Or ensure they have a correct interpretation.
Right.
And once again, the importance of creating a written summary of their coverage determination is highlighted.
Okay.
So it's all about being precise and creating a clear audit trail.
Exactly. And the article also includes other questions designed to probe their technical skills,
Okay.
such as their familiarity with different claims, processing tools, and software platforms,
Right.
how they go about assessing damage in both property and auto claims,
Yeah.
whether they have experience conducting re-inspections when necessary,
Yeah.
how they utilize data and analytics to inform their claim evaluations,
Right.
if they have been involved in the implementation of new technological solutions within a claims department, any relevant professional certifications. They hold their strategies for staying up to date with evolving technical skills and industry best practices, and how they navigate situations where the language of an insurance policy is not entirely clear or straightforward.
Yeah.
It really demonstrates the blend of legal understanding and practical application that's required. No, it's not all about the technical side of things, right?
Yeah.
Claims adjusters also need a strong set of interpersonal skills.
Right.
So the so-called soft skills.
Yeah.
According to the article, the most effective candidates are those who can communicate clearly and concisely,
Uh-huh.
especially when explaining complex insurance concepts to policyholders who may not have a background in the field.
Right.
They also need to be skilled negotiators able to reach mutually acceptable resolutions
Yeah.
while remaining composed and professional, even when dealing with difficult or emotionally charged situations.
So problem solving is absolutely essential in this role.
Oh, absolutely.
Claims adjusters are frequently faced with unique and often unexpected circumstances
Yeah.
where they need to think critically, analyze the information at hand, and make sound decisions in a timely manner.
Yeah.
It's about finding practical solutions while always adhering to the terms and conditions of the insurance policy.
So the article offers a classic example question to assess these soft skills. How do you handle a policyholder upset about a denied claim?
Right.
And the recommended approach in the answer is very insightful.
Yeah.
It emphasizes the importance of actively listening to the policyholder without interrupting,
Mhm.
acknowledging their frustration and disappointment,
Right.
and then explaining the reasons for the denial in clear, simple language, always referencing the specific clauses within their insurance policy.
Yeah.
And crucially, it mentions exploring any potential alternatives,
Yeah.
such as the appeals process or other avenues for coverage if they might exist.
Right.
So it's about balancing empathy with a firm understanding of the policy.
Precisely. And the article goes on to list other key soft skills questions,
Yeah.
such as how they typically approach sensitive or emotionally charged conversations.
Yeah.
There are methods for explaining intricate insurance jargon in a way that's easily understandable to the average person, how they manage a high volume of claims while still maintaining accuracy and providing good customer service. An instance where they had to persuade a client to accept a difficult decision,
Right.
the techniques they use to manage stress in a demanding role,
Yeah.
how they've handled situations involving miscommunication,
Right.
how they manage expectations, when a policyholder's understanding of their coverage doesn't align with the actual policy terms,
Yeah.
and how they ensure that claims are resolved in a timely and efficient manner.
Okay, so really a whole other area that they're trying to assess.
It's a real test of their ability to interact effectively with people.
Fraud.
Yeah,
It's a topic that often comes up when discussing insurance,
sure.
and it's a significant part of what claims adjusters are tasked with addressing.
Right.
So the article highlights fraud detection as a truly crucial aspect of their responsibilities. So the interview questions in this category aim to determine if a candidate has the ability to thoroughly investigate claims
Yeah.
and identify those telltale red flags that might indicate a potentially dishonest claim.
Right. What companies are looking for here is someone who can recognize suspicious patterns in the information they receive.
Right.
Follow a well-defined and logical investigation process to gather the necessary facts, meticulously document every step of their inquiry,
Yeah.
and understand when it's appropriate to escalate their concerns to a higher authority or a specialized investigations unit.
Right.
It's all about safeguarding the integrity of the insurance system.
So the example question provided is, what are some red flags that indicate a potentially fraudulent claim?
Okay.
And the sample answer offers some really concrete examples.
Okay.
A history of unusually frequent claims filed by the same policyholder.
Right.
Inconsistencies or vagueness in the statements provided by the claimant.
Yeah.
A lack of supporting documentation for the claimed loss.
Mm-hmm.
A claim that is filed very soon after a new insurance policy is purchased.
Right.
Or damage to property that simply doesn't align with the cause of loss that was reported.
Yeah.
So those definitely sound like things that would raise a red flag for any experienced adjuster.
They certainly do. And the article follows up with other pertinent questions related to fraud,
Yeah.
such as their general approach to initiating an investigation into a suspicious claim,
Right.
if they can recall specific instance where they successfully uncovered insurance fraud and the steps they took,
Yeah.
their experience conducting background checks or utilizing other investigative techniques,
Right.
the most common types of insurance fraud they have encountered in their experience,
Yeah.
whether they have handled complex or large-scale fraud cases, how they leverage technology and data analytics to assist in fraud detection efforts, and their overall strategies for maintaining ethical conduct and professional integrity throughout the claims handling process.
Right.
It's a specialized area of expertise within claims adjusting.
Okay, so to really get a sense of how a candidate would perform in the actual job,
Yeah,
the article also delves into situational interview questions.
right.
So these are designed to present candidates with realistic hypothetical scenarios that they might encounter in their day-to-day work.
Right.
So the goal is to see how they would react under pressure, whether they could apply company policies and procedures effectively,
Yeah,
and how they would navigate challenging situations in a professional manner.
exactly. You want to assess their practical problem-solving skills and their ability to think on their feet.
Yeah.
You're looking for someone who can remain calm and focused when faced with a difficult situation,
Right.
and who can effectively apply their knowledge and experience to find a suitable resolution.
So the example given here is, imagine a claimant strongly disagrees with the settlement offer you've provided.
Okay.
How would you handle it?
Right.
So the suggested answer is quite comprehensive.
Yeah.
It begins with actively and attentively listening to the claimant's concerns
Right.
to fully understand their perspective and the reasons for their dissatisfaction.
Okay.
Then it's about clearly and patiently explaining the rationale behind the settlement offer,
Uh-huh.
referencing specific details from their insurance policy and any supporting evidence,
Right.
such as repair estimates or accident reports.
Yeah.
The answer also emphasizes the importance of reviewing any additional documentation or information the claimant might provide.
Okay.
Furthermore, it mentions exploring potential avenues for compromise within the boundaries of the insurance policy,
Yeah.
while always ensuring compliance with company guidelines and industry regulations.
Uh-huh.
So it's a delicate balancing act between adhering to policy and addressing the claimant's concerns.
It is indeed. And the article provides other insightful situational questions
Yeah.
that cover scenarios like dealing with incomplete or conflicting information provided by a policyholder suspecting that a contractor's repair estimate is inflated, handling a situation where new information comes to light that significantly changes the scope or understanding of a claim, resolving disputes that may arise between multiple claimants involved in the same incident, ensuring timely claim resolution during periods of unusually high claim volume,
Wow.
what steps they would take if they suspected an internal error had occurred in the claims handling process, and how they manage communication and expectations with external parties such as other insurance adjusters or contractors.
It's a lot.
These questions really put the candidate in a simulated work environment.
Finally, the article concludes by outlining the key qualities that really define effective claims adjusters.
Okay?
And it's clear that success in this field goes far beyond just technical knowledge.
Right.
There's like a whole constellation of
Yeah.
personal and professional attributes
Yeah,
that contribute to excellence.
absolutely. Beyond the foundational hard skills, you need individuals who possess exceptional attention to detail.
Yeah.
The ability to notice subtle inconsistencies in reports or discrepancies in damage estimates that might otherwise be overlooked.
Right.
They need to have a strong investigative mindset,
Yeah.
a natural inclination to dig deeper, to ask probing questions, and to thoroughly verify the facts presented to them.
Right.
Think about an adjuster noticing that photos of property damage don't quite align with the timeline or severity of a reported weather event.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Right.
And they also need to be like strong analytical thinkers,
Uh-huh.
capable of objectively evaluating all the different factors that come into play when assessing a claim,
Yeah.
such as the specifics of the insurance policy, the circumstances surrounding the loss, and the estimated costs of repair or replacement to arrive at a fair and accurate conclusion.
Right.
For example, carefully comparing multiple bids from different contractors to ensure a reasonable and market-appropriate payout.
Right. And clear and effective communication is absolutely paramount.
Right.
They must be able to articulate complex insurance-related information
Yeah.
in a way that is easily understandable and accessible to policyholders who may not have any prior experience with insurance claims.
Yeah.
Strong negotiation skills are also essential.
Yeah.
The ability to find common ground and reach mutually agreeable settlements
Right.
that are fair to both the insurance company and the policyholder while still adhering to the terms of the policy.
Empathy and a high degree of professionalism are incredibly important as well. As the article points out, claimants are often dealing with stressful and disruptive situations.
Right.
So a good adjuster needs to be patient, an active listener, and be able to offer helpful solutions whenever possible.
Uh-huh.
And let's not overlook the importance of effective time management and strong organizational skills
Right.
with a potentially large caseload of claims in various stages of processing.
Right.
Being able to manage their time efficiently, track critical deadlines, and prioritize urgent cases is absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
This might involve utilizing task management software or other organizational tools to stay on top of their responsibilities.
So for you, our listener, looking to gain a quick yet comprehensive understanding, what's the big picture?
Yeah.
Well, as you can see from these interview questions,
Yeah.
the role of a claims adjuster is truly multifaceted.
Yeah.
It demands a unique combination of technical expertise,
Uh-huh.
well-developed interpersonal abilities, a knack for investigation and critical thinking,
Yeah.
and sound ethical judgment.
Right.
It's far more than just processing paperwork. Right.
It's about effectively navigating complex situations
Yeah.
involving both policies and people.
Right. You've seen how the interview questions progress from those broad initial inquiries about personality and experience
Mm.
to very specific technical and situational challenges,
Yeah.
really highlighting the breadth of knowledge and the diverse skill set that these professionals need to bring to the table every day.
This deep dive into how companies evaluate potential claims, adjuster candidates,
Yeah.
reveals a profession that requires both intellectual rigor
Uh-huh.
and significant emotional intelligence.
Right.
They need to be sharp analysts, empathetic communicators, and diligent investigators,
Yeah.
all while consistently operating within the framework of often complex regulations
Right.
and navigating frequently sensitive circumstances.
So here's a final thought to consider.
Okay.
Think about how the underlying principles and even the specific types of questions used to evaluate claims adjusters might actually provide a useful framework for understanding expertise and critical thinking in a wide range of other professions. Right.
Really, any field that requires problem-solving decision-making under pressure and effective communication.
Mm-hmm.
So what transferable skills are being assessed here?
Yeah.
And how might understanding this evaluation process inform your own approach to analyzing different industries or even assessing talent in general?
Interesting.
It's definitely something worth pondering.
It is.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Thanks for listening.